Hello, hello, and welcome to our afternoon financial chat and chew. This is Kimberly K. LeBou, CEO and founder of LeBou Publishing Enterprise. Thank you guys for joining us today. Like I said, this is our financial chat and chew with best-selling author and money coach Lisa M. Jones. She is the author of the best-selling book True Wealth Starts in the Mind. Right there, you can see and all her fabulous friends wrote this fabulous book. And yesterday, I had I saw someone's Facebook post asking for suggestions for books that would be recommended on mindset. And that was the first one I posted in the link. So, welcome to the broadcast, Miss Lisa M. Jones, our money coach. Woo! Yay! I need more energy.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm excited about this. I'm always excited to talk to you because you always provide so much value around the subject of money and finances and how to be responsible with your finances. So I know that this is going to be a blessing to our audience. For those of you who are tuned in, make sure you share. If you ever heard Lisa before, you know this is something that you want to share with your community too. Don't keep it to yourself. So Lisa, let's get right into it. Tell me what inspired you to write the book True Wealth Starts in the Mind?
Wow. I'm trying to get it because people are texting me like, how do I
Oh,
do this? And so
tell them to go to my page. That's the easiest thing for them to do. Go to my page.
there we go. Wow. Okay.
So now I can hear me. So you have to close it once you let them know.
Okay.
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 Okay. So our book right here. So tell the people what inspired you to write True Wealth Starts in the Mind.
Well, that book was such a blessing, and it was just a vision that God gave me. One day I was just thinking about. I'm always concerned about reaching the communities, reaching the people, inspiring people, and so often you have folks that are wondering, how can I get from up under my circumstances? They don't know how to get their way out of it, and I believe that it all starts in the mind. And so what I did was, well, that's what inspired me. I wanted to reach people to help them to understand that they can accomplish whatever they put their mind on. Where God says, whatever man put his mind on, it will not be denied him. So when they wanted to build that Tower of Babel, nothing could stop them. And the only way God could stop them from building that tower was to change their language so they couldn't understand it because their mind was on it. And so this happened. I wanted to help people to understand the power of a mindset. It's all about the mindset.
Yeah. And you and your co-authors, man, you guys did a phenomenal job with breaking that thing down from excuses that we make to habits that we need to change to what we need to unlearn and relearn. I have read this book so many times. And I highly recommend it. And for LeBou Publishing, it is still one of our best-selling books. So it is the best-selling book in our arsenal right now. And people are still buying it. People are still talking about it and still being blessed from it. So I thank you for doing that, and all the co-authors that contributed to the project as well. I'm so glad you did because it's just a wealth of knowledge, a
Well,
wealth of knowledge.
let me just say, come on, this was probably, I don't know for you, but this was probably one of the most difficult projects I've ever started. And I can say that it had to be um, a certain person, a special person to get it finished. And so thank God for LaBoo Publishing.
Thank
Because
you.
you had to have the patience, because my business partners all over the world and nobody knew who was going to write what, but you had to have the patience to work with people from different time frames, in different states all over the world and help
Yeah.
them to get through writing their chapter. So that manifested because we chose the right publisher to
Amen.
making that book come to life. And so it was truly a vision to reality experience.
Yeah, and I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, like you said, it was a challenge, but we got it done, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing now to the kingdom. So, you know, whatever I had to do to help make it happen, I'm just grateful that it all came together the way that it did
Yeah.
because it is truly a blessing. So let's get into our chat and chew. I don't have anything to chew.
How do we
I
feel?
don't like eating on live, but you know, we have people over here in our amen corner too with the in the comments saying, you know, that the book is an absolute blessing. So it's a treasure. So people are agreeing with our assessment of the book. So let's talk about everybody knows, you know, that we're in trying times right now. So I think this is a very fitting time for us to talk about finances, because so many people are in a panic about what to do right now with the time that we're in. And so on our agenda, we had that we were going to talk about the cash flow quadrant. And so talk to us about how the whole cash flow quadrant, first of all, for people who don't know what it is, explain what it is, and then tell us how does that fit into the times that we're in right now.
Okay. Well, it's amazing. I truly believe that this is something that should be taught um, in elementary school. We have to start teaching our children early, once they can start comprehending a little something uh, about the four ways to make money. And a lot of people are familiar with it because Robert Kiyosaki wrote about it and Rich Dad Poor Dad and so on. And there's a book, Cash for Quadrant. But yeah, it talks about the four ways to make money. And dealing with this pandemic, people are starting to understand the
Yeah.
importance of these four ways, excuse me, to make money. And so when you think about it, you on the left side of the quadrant, you have employees and self-employed. And on the right side of the quadrant, you have business owner and investor. And majority of the folks were raised to operate on the left side of the quadrant. We were told to go to school and get a good education and get a good job. And if you in the DMV area, get a good government job. Amen. And so, that was, I think that the pandemic didn't create issues; it revealed issues. Okay,
Wow.
money issues was there. What the pandemic has done is woke people up because they
Yeah.
was in denial. All right.
Mhm.
Um, when we think about an employee, they are 100% of their income. So they are 100% of one. And that is a very dangerous position to be in because if ever that one can't work, then everything is lost to be
Wow.
100% of one. And what I do on the right side is teach people how to be 1% of 100. And
Mm.
so when you're an employee, you're actually renting your income. And so the owner can tell the renter that I want to sell and you have to leave, right? You think about a house. If you're renting out your house, if the owner decides to sell, the renter have to do what? Leave.
Leave.
If the owners say, I want to increase my net worth, so what I need to eliminate is what? Liabilities. Where is one income on their balance sheet? On the liability side of it. So if a company owner ever want to increase their net worth, they're going to get rid of some salary people.
Mm.
And if we don't understand that, then we will continue to waste money. They say the average adult wastes $200 to $500 a month. And I
Wow.
believe because they think they have a guarantee. See, I think the greatest, I think is really, really dangerous to not understand that there is a credible threat that exists. And the threat is that any time when you sign your application, they had in the application that we can fire at will without explanation.
Oh my God.
And so listen to this. When I decided to become an entrepreneur, Kimberly, people said, Lisa, you're taking a lot of risk. And I said, I beg to differ. You signed a contract for a $400,000 house, 300,000, 500,000, $600,000 house with a rented income. You signed up for a loan that you would pay this company $400,000, this bank for this loan, and on a rented income. Who's taking the risk?
Mm.
The risk. So the employee is really in a dangerous position, and because at any time someone can say, "We're moving this department to another country.
Mm.
We're merging departments. We are
Yeah.
eliminating some of these positions," which is what's going to happen because what they've learned from this is one, we ain't paying benefits no more on nobody. And
Wow.
two, we don't need this amount of people to operate this agency. So we get ready to get some early outs, some buyouts, get people out of here. We have too many. We're going to right size, not
Wow.
right size. So an employee is 100%. And if they ever get sick, when I had cancer, it took me 4 years to get myself together. As
Mm.
an employee, I would have been terminated. So anything can happen. Nobody saw this happening, not in
Yeah.
our lifetime. You understand? But this woke some folks up. So people understand the power of having a spare tire in their trunk. They have 4 tires on the car and one spare in the trunk just in case they get a flat. Now more people are starting businesses more now than ever. Why? Because they understand I better have something to fall back on, a spare tire for my financial
Yeah.
future. You understand? So then you have on the left side self-employed. That's a beautician, a barber, a doctor, a lawyer, self-employed. They are truly affected. They're still 100% of one. They can make more than an employee for less hours, but they're still 100% of one because they are self-employed. They're not business owners. They tell themselves they're business owners. In other words, I don't have to work to make six figures. That's a
Mm.
business owner when you don't have to work to make it. So on the left side, that self-employed person is we have our beauticians that are suffering right now because they can't work. Our barbers
Yeah.
are suffering right now because they can't work. You know what I mean? Doctors, my doctor office cancel my appointments that I had, my checkup.
Mine too.
They can't go into hospitals. They can't work. They only handling certain cases there now. So it really breaks your heart of what's going on. Real estate agents can't show houses like they want to. So you just have so many issues when you are self-employed. Got the right idea, but you have to find a way, get mentorship so you can move from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant. What's the right side? It's amazing. It's called the right side. And that's a business owner, which they own a system. And the system keep operating without that CEO being present. In other words, you could put a teenager into McDonald's and they could cook the perfect fries. But if you put them in your kitchen, they're going to burn your kitchen up. Why? Because there's a system. Everybody can point to where the fries are. They can point to where the shake machine is. They can point to, different parts of a system because why? It keeps operating the same way over and over and it makes money. And then the fourth area on the right side is the investor. And when you're working with limited dollars, then people aren't able to be investors like they want to. But then you have to become an investor. The dollar bill never sweats. It never gets tired. It works 24/7. So we got to go sit among them. And when I decided I wanted to transition from the left side to the right side, I went and sat among them. I went to sit with millionaires. I went to sit with business owners. I went to sit with successful people. And I wanted to understand what is the difference between their mindset and mine. And what I realized, Kimberly, is I had a poverty mindset. And the first place I had to fix it, it wasn't going to be fixed in my bank account. It had to be fixed in my mind. See, you fix your mind and you fix your zip code. You fix your mind and you fix your bank account. You fix your mind and you're going to fix your friends. You fix your mind and you fix your destiny. You fix your legacy. And so the thing is that we have to find a way to not let this not the last time something like this is going to happen.
Right.
If it catch you again, shame on you.
Yeah.
You better
True.
get in position. I believe we've been forewarned on we better find another way. to bring in income. So that cash flow quadrant is powerful. Whatever happened to the children cutting grass, shoveling snow, earning? One of the questions I ask people, Kimberly, is when did you earn your first dollar? Because I want to know if they were taught how to make money as children. We're now playing video. You know what I'm saying? You got all the designers on Nike. I always tell them, instead of your children being a walking billboard for Nike, let me show you how to buy shares out of Nike. We got to change our mindset. We don't have investments, but we have cable. We don't have investments, but we have every feature on our cell phone. We are not thinking properly. And so that we have to understand, how do you legally make money in our country? And how do I switch my mindset that I can bring in residual income that will pay me whether I leave my house or not? As a result of this economy, my income has gone up. I'm bulletproof when financial services. When the economy is bad, I do very well. When the economy is good, I do very well. And so the thing is that what area can I make sure that I build a residual income and I have income coming to my household no matter where the economy is?
Wow. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. People making comments saying that's powerful. We have to renew our mindset. Great teachings. They're getting it, Lisa. They're getting it. Okay. So let's talk about, so since you were talking about investment accounts, let's just go there for a minute, because I've seen people posting on social media talking about whether or not this is a good time to invest, or what should we be doing right now. People are scared to go look at their 401ks, with everything that's going on. So talk a little bit about investments right now. Is this a good time to be investing?
This is a to be investing. This is seasons like this. We have to first understand that this is a season, not a sentence. Okay. And that I don't believe that the world is shutting down. And I believe we have to wake up. I'm going to keep saying that to people. Wake up, get education. When you're educated, nobody can get over on you. They saying what you don't know won't hurt you. I promise you, what you don't know will kill you. And so it's time to understand economic empowerment. It's time to understand how the dollar bill works. How do money work? Everything comes with instructions but the paycheck. You purchase a toaster, you get instructions. If you look at the back of your garment, there are instructions on how to care for that garment. But no instructions come with that paycheck. So we don't know what to do. People are walking in fear. And I just rebuke that thing. Don't walk in fear. Use wisdom. Be safe. But don't walk in fear. This is an amazing time to be investing. It seems like this that successful people are developed. It seems like this that people become millionaires. They start acting on their creative ideas. It's been too long that we've been vision rich and execution poor. So many people have business ideas, visions, and they don't act on it. They don't execute. And so now this season is causing folks to execute. You understand? You be investing, you better get that money in there. My clients are educated, so they're calling me. I want to put more in. I want to put more in. Why? Because shares that was $20 is now $7 a share. Wow. This is the time that you should be investing. It's something called a bear and a bull market. You would think they would teach this once again in elementary school. When it's a bear market, they call it a bear market. That means the market is down. And they call it a bear market because when a bear scratches, it scratches down. That's simple. It's the bear market. And then you have what's called a bull market. And that's call it the bull market. If a bull hits you, you're going to go up to the air, right? And so we're in the bear market. So I get to buy, it's a red dot sale. I get to buy shares on sale. I need to diversify my portfolio. I need to really sit down with a money coach like myself and review everything. There's power in accountability. With a money coach. They have your best interest at heart. Do a review. This is wake up season. Review where you are. Did you diversify your portfolio properly? Don't stop. Don't switch. You have to review it with a money coach to go over some questions like how close are you to retirement? What are your needs? What do you want to accomplish? You have to have that conversation with a money coach like myself. And so that you can make sure you're making the right decision. So should you be investing? Yes. Or do we have to be mindful of our portfolio and how it's laid out? Absolutely. And you will only know what your needs are if you sit with a professional so that they can help you make the right decision. So, yes, the question is absolutely. Will allow you to get some investments.
Get some investments. And we're going to tell you guys how to get in touch with Lisa M. Jones. She is the best money coach in my eyes. She's the reason why I'm not over here sweating bullets during a time like this.
Amen.
And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm in a season of peace amongst all this chaos. And you have a lot to do with that. So I thank you for that.
Praise God.
So let's talk about debt versus expenses.
Well, you know, the thing is that, and once again, when we think about the time that we're in, people tend to say, I'm in a lot of debt. And when I sit down, I say, well, let's draw a line in the middle of the paper. Okay. Now, on one side, let's list your debts. And on the other side, let's list your expenses. And also often, all too often, they have their expenses outweigh their debts. So what they tend to do, they call everything a debt. And when we divide it up, we find out that they're wasting money on a lot of things on the expense side. So, you know, we have to, first of all, divide it to see what's your debt ratio and what is actually a debt and what is actually an expense. Because we tend to, you know, put it all together, combine it all and say, I'm in so much debt. People are wasting a lot of money. This is the time where you have to look at what am I wasting? Okay, we don't understand once again how money works, and then we keep buying clothes and nails and hair and eating out and all of this stuff, and our priorities are not in order. We don't have our priorities in order, so we have to divide it up. Now, when I look at my expense column, what are some things that I can downsize? What are some things can I eliminate in order to lower my expenses, and so that I can apply more on the principal and pay off debts. So we got to know how to not manage that, eliminate that. People say, might say to me, I want to manage my debt. I say, I don't want to manage that. I want to eliminate it.
Yeah.
What are some things I can do to eliminate that? How can I put more on the principal so that they can charge me less interest? How can I pay my house off in 15 to 20 years versus waiting a whole 30 years? How do I get out of this credit card debt? Department store credit cards, total waste. Not have those type of things, you know what I mean? And so we got to understand, first of all, divide it up and see how much debt do I actually have? And then what expenses can I downsize or eliminate so that I can apply more on the principal and pay the debt off sooner? We have to have a strategy in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about the stimulus checks. So
I didn't get mine yet.
I'm thinking you're not getting one. I'm not getting one either. So my son came to work. He said, "Mommy, are you getting one of them checks?" I'm like, "No, boo."
Right?
No, tracking my dollars. But so I've seen so much talk on the internet about these stimulus checks and people getting upset with what people doing with their stimulus checks. And so why don't you weigh in and tell us, what do you recommend? How should the stimulus check best be spent, or what should be done with it? What should people really be doing with these stimulus checks? What do you think?
There's nothing but a setup if you're not properly educated, because all it's going to do is stimulate. And it's going to stimulate people to go get in more debt with it. And so we got to understand the system, okay? The way our politicians are paid is through taxes. And, you know, when we think about when 9/11 hit, the president at the time said, don't worry, go shopping. In other words, if I can keep you in debt, you will still always have to work a job. And as long as you work in a job, you're going to pay taxes. And as long as you pay taxes, the politicians won't get their salaries. And so we got to understand the setup. This stimulus check is to stimulate. And that's to stimulate people to go get in more debt so that your years on the job can be longer. And so if you're not educated on what to do with this stimulus check, do I put it all on debt? No, we got to sit down and evaluate what needs to take place. Should I pay off a debt? Should I put some towards expenses? Should I catch myself up? Should I invest some? I think you got to analyze and look at it. This is not a one person fits into another person's house.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to customize. I customize financial plans according to your household, not according to what everybody else should be doing. It's like
Yeah.
the rat race of the income tax check. Around October, they start saying, oh, when I get my income tax check, I'm going to pay off this, that, right? And so, and then they get the income tax check, they buy a living room set and a TV and a new car, okay? And they pay
Right.
a credit card, right? And around about July, the emergency happened, and they have to use the same credit card that they paid off the credit card with the tax check, right? The income tax check. And now the rat race is just over and over. They do the same thing. October, can't wait to get that. I'm gonna pay this off, because they don't sit down and say, what areas is this money best needed? I need to make sure that I pay myself. I think that we've never been taught the 10-10-80 rule. 10% charity of tithing, 10% me, and 80% everything else. People might go in people's house, they're more sophisticated now. They have their budget on a spreadsheet on a computer. But the thing that's always missing is their name. Their name is never on there. They don't pay themselves. So when they get money, they're going to go buy some material possessions that have no value, depreciating value, no value whatsoever. They don't ever pay themselves. They don't put money in an emergency. And we're going to talk about building a strong financial house. And so when times come up, they don't have no money. See, cash will always be king. Always be king. You can't sell your house tonight, but you better have some money tonight. And so we got to make sure that with this stimulus check, it's not stimulating us to go get more debt. Because, Kimberly, people are still wasting money because all the restaurants are delivering. So they're still eating out. They're still doing the same things. Why? Because a habit. You will always return to your vomit if you don't change your mindset.
Okay. Wow.
And so I sat down with people and helped them put strategies together and become debt free. But because the mindset was not fixed, because they didn't sit down and review and educate themselves on a daily basis on this area, they returned to their vomit. They got in debt again. You ever hear people say, I got out of debt, I got back in debt, I got out of debt? Because you didn't switch your mindset. You got to change your mind, fix your mind, and you fix that. How many pair of jeans do you need? How many pair of black pants do you need? I mean, you understand? So it's just a mess when you don't work on the mindset. We have poverty mindset because we weren't taught how money works.
Whew. And you're right. People still doing stuff. When I go downstairs, I still see a bunch of boxes from Amazon at the concierge desk. So people still shopping. People are still shopping.
On a rented income, they'll tell you, don't rent a house for 30 years, but they'll rent their income for 30 years.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you touched on this and said we were going to talk about building a strong financial house, right? And so we know that there are 7 levels to building a strong financial house. And so Lisa is going to tell us what they are. And it starts with number 1, income protection.
I appreciate you so much, and I know that you, this is an area that you really wanted me to hit on.
I do.
And it's really a big area, Kimberly, because, some call it life insurance, some call it death insurance, we call it income protection. And the reason we call it income protection, I've been blessed to retire my parents. I had my daughter, I had my amazing daughter, my amazing grandbaby. And so my income plays a part in their life. And so I have protection on my income. People have protection on appliances, protection on their cell phone, protection on their cars, protection on their house, but no protection on their income. And your biggest asset is your income. And so if, God forbid, there is a premature death, can you ask yourself, How long will your family be able to survive?
Yeah.
Can they have the same standard of living or greater? Or will they be forced to sell the house? Or will they be forced to pull their children out of private school? And so we weren't taught how to purchase the proper amount of life insurance. And then another thing, Kimberly, is I remember in one day over 4,000 people went without benefits because companies starting to cancel the benefits because the companies are suffering financially and they're
Yeah.
eliminating benefits. And so I teach people you cannot go by the plan that's on the job. You have to have a plan at home. They say more people are buying life insurance now than ever. Well, you can't come to me after you get sick. You
Yeah.
have to get this coverage in place. I had stage 4 cancer. Nobody was going to insure me once I contracted stage 4 cancer. Thank God
Yep.
I had the coverage before that happened. So we got to make sure that you sit down and take the time out to get your priorities in order. Because I mean, it's like the deaths. I mean, I've heard people posting both parents dying
Yeah.
days apart, family members dying, and you see GoFundMe accounts popping up everywhere. And the thing is that that's not supposed to be used as a life insurance vehicle.
Right.
GoFundMe. You have to have a plan in place. Why is it okay for you to go spend $200 and $300 eating out a month, but you won't take $100 of that and get proper coverage so that your family can have the same standard of living or greater? Or this is the only way we're going to transfer wealth. We have to stop the generational curse of poverty in our family. And most of us, because we didn't create cash wealth, the only way we're going to transfer wealth is through a life product. And so we need to make sure we have adequate coverage. You have your own plan at home and stop procrastinating. This is what
Yeah.
the life insurance policy is: your last love letter to your family. That's your last love letter. And
Yeah.
what will your love letter say? Ask yourself, what will your love letter say? I was too busy to get around to it. It was more important to me to eat out or go shopping than to put the proper amount of coverage in place. I didn't see it as a priority. What will your last love letter say to your children and to your? I remember
Mm.
one a person said to me, "Well, if anything happened to me, my children get a house." I said, "Will they get a house? Will they inherit a house, or will they inherit a debt? Is it paid off?"
Wow.
You're not a homeowner. You're a home buyer. As long as people walk around, I'm a homeowner. No, you're not a homeowner until you
Yeah.
pay it off. You miss a couple payments, you'll find out who the owner is.
Yes.
The thing is that we got to, folks thinking they're leaving their children something, they're leaving them debt. We got to leave our children a legacy. We have to change
Mm.
the generational curse of poverty. I told my daughter the curse of poverty ended with me. The day my
Amen.
grandbaby got a social security number, she became a millionaire. Why? Because I know better. When you know better, you do better. So we got to make sure that we have courage in place, because we read scripture and folks so good at memorizing it. But that don't mean nothing. It don't mean they live it. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And they'll tell you that tomorrow is not promised. But they sitting and living a life like it is. You
Mm.
have to make sure that you have a policy. I can teach you how to be debt free. I can teach you how to retire and never have to work another job, but I cannot promise you tomorrow. I cannot ensure you that there won't be a death, but I can assure you that you don't have to grieve and worry. You're going to
Mm.
but you shouldn't be grieving and worrying. People are grieving and they're worrying about how they're going to pay the mortgage. They're grieving and they're worrying about how they're going to raise the children on that one income. If you depended on two incomes to run a household, if one income is removed, what happens to the household? You have more grandparents raising their grandchildren now than ever.
Yeah.
I have an issue when grown adults tell me my mama have a policy on me. You grown with children, with a spouse, and you gonna tell me your mama have a policy on you? It's time to grow up. Stop
Wow.
wasting money and get our priorities in order. So that's the first level of building a strong financial house. That makes sense, Kimberly?
It makes a lot of sense. I'm so happy you went there. And I just really wanted you to hit on that point because of it, especially with what's going on right now. And like you said, you have multiple people dying in one household. And it's like, this is crazy. And so if there is not a better wake-up call than this, that says that we need to have our financial house in order and we need to have life insurance to make sure that if God forbid we are taken out of here today or tomorrow, that our families will not suffer, like you said, in that way financially, because they're already going to be grieving, over that loss. And so I really, really wanted you to take some time out to talk about that because, it's just, this is a wake up call right here because there are people who had no idea. You have people go in the hospital and 3 days later they're gone.
Yes. It breaks your heart. It's so sad.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's time to prioritize, guys. It's time to be accountable. It's accountability time.
And GoFundMe, just like you said, GoFundMe is not a life insurance policy.
It's not life insurance. And I think, my thing is, you wouldn't take the time out to get a policy that costs $20, $30, but you want me to give you my $20, $30 to bury your family member.
Yeah.
That's not fair. That's not fair to put people in that position because they have to take care of their household, and now you're begging them to help you take care of yours. Get your priorities in order. You have cable, but you have no life insurance. Come on, man. So you're spending $150 to $200 in cable. You got 600 channels and you're busy. Come on. We got to it's just a mess. And it's just, I just believe God is saying, wake up. He's been forewarning us. And now he's saying, okay, you want to try my hand? See what it's going to be like if you get your affairs in order. Get your affairs in order.
Okay. So the first one was income protection. The second one is your emergency account.
You have to have an emergency account. You have to build your financial house, guys. And let me preface this by saying, I believe the foundation of building any house is tithes and offerings. I believe the foundation is what holds a house up. The whole time I was going through the cancer experience, I did not, my income still paid me while I was in the hospital. I believe because I am a giver, I bless people on a daily basis. I give God the honor for that. I'm not sitting back trying to pat myself on the shoulder. I'm just a willing vessel. But I believe in blessing people. And I believe in tithing. I believe in offering. I believe in giving. And so I believe that's the foundation of building any house, any building, anything. Okay?
Yeah.
Tithes and offering. And that's the 10%, the first 10%. And then the income protection. And then the next area is emergency account. You need to have 3 to 6 months of household expenses put away in case of an emergency. And for some households that have several children, 6 to 12 months. And so you got to have money to fall back on. Why? Because cash will always be king. Cash will always be king. When Katrina hit Louisiana, there was a lot of homeowners. They couldn't leave town because there was a homeowner. You had to have cash. And so you got to make sure that when something like this come up, you have cash to live off. One of the statements that was made that I absolutely love is, how old is the money you living off of? In other words, this is April, but I'm still living off of January money. You hear what I'm saying? And so my thing was, the beginning of every quarter, pay for the whole quarter, all your expenses and debt for the whole quarter. Live off of all money. So I try and say, okay, I'm gonna live off of the beginning of the quarter, pay the quarter. And then I said, well, I'm gonna go 6 months. I'm gonna be in the month of October, still living off of May money. Wow. You understand what I'm saying? How old is the money you living off of? When you're in the same month, living off the same money you made that month, you in a dangerous position. You better put money away for emergencies so you can fall back on cash. And so people, emergency money, Kimberly, became a credit card. It's a credit card. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, their emergency money was in a jar under the mattress.
Under the mattress.
My good friends, Angela, say, they would put it in the curtain. You know what I mean? The scene of the curtain. They would hide money in the scene of the curtain.
Oh, wow.
But that grandma had money to fall back on. They didn't make half what they didn't make hardly anything what we make today. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The highest paid people is in the state of Maryland. Some of the highest paid African Americans is in Prince George's County. There are so many millionaires in the DMV area. You got me? And so the thing is that we making money. We have learned how to make money. We just haven't been taught how to keep it.
Wow.
You have to drive the best, the fanciest cars, and you should be blessed. You should get what you want, but then not until you have paid yourself, secure your future. Don't spend everything in that. And so the thing is, you got to have money that you can fall back on, and that's called emergency money. So that's why that's the first two levels: income protection, life insurance, which is life insurance, and emergency account. Because people retirement money is affected by those two areas. When someone died, I've heard so many people say I had to go in my retirement money to bury a loved one. I had to go in my retirement money to take care of an emergency. Okay, when they start allowing you to get loans off of your retirement account, that was by design, not default. Because they were dangling the carrot. If I could keep you working here longer, you're going to keep being a taxpayer. You're going to keep paying. You pay more taxes than me. You know, only 2% of the people in the world make $200,000 or greater, and I'm among the 2%. And so the thing is, what we can write off and what you can write off as an employee, it's ridiculous. You're paying so much more than me. Why? Because we don't understand the cash flow quadrant. So we got to have emergency money in place so we can fall back on that, not fall back on credit cards. Okay?
Yeah. Ooh, this situation definitely has highlighted that as well. So number 3 is protection management.
So you have to protect your assets. And so we go over with our clients the importance of protect. You're going to have a house. How do I have the proper homeowners insurance, auto insurance? You know, the alarm system, the vivid alarm system, the best alarm system out. I have the alarm system in my house. I feel so secure. My parents have it at their house, and they're up in age, and we can monitor who go in and out and so on. And so, you know, protecting your assets. You know, if I'm going to take the time to build up my income, how do I protect it? My retirement. How do I protect the things that I've the things that I've established in my home and so on. And so in that area, we're talking about protecting your assets, even protecting your identity. So that's protection management. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then 5th one is debt management. We're doing good.
Get out of debt. Oh, we have to get out of debt. You know, it takes 39 years to pay off a $3,000 credit card, and that's at a 19% interest rate, paying a minimum payment. That individual paid $10,000 back in interest. And so the thing is that the households have several credit cards, 5 and 6 credit cards maxed out. And so people are in so much credit card debt. And so or student loan debt. And so we got to understand how to be debt free. One extra payment on a mortgage knocks 10 years off of a 30-year mortgage. We got to figure out how to pay our homes off sooner. So we got to put a strategic game plan together to be debt free and not pay as much interest by applying more on the principal. So I help my clients put a strategy together, put it in writing. The word of God says, write the vision and make it plain, okay? And so the thing is, when you write it and you make it plain, then anybody that come behind you can run the play. Our children don't even know how to survive. Why? Because the parents don't have the children sitting at the table when they pay the bills. Shanina, when she moved to Georgia, she knew how to set up her place because I had her play a part in how we took care of everything at our place. And so we got to start teaching our children how to write a check, how to balance a checkbook. Let them sit at the table. You know, old school is stay in a child's place, be seen and not heard. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake. You got to sit those children at the table with you and make sure. I keep telling my clients, we got to get back to the days where you have family meetings, where the family have their portfolios on the table and they're going through and they're talking about establishing wealth, where the family know what's going on with the debt. If the children don't know what it costs to pay the rent or costs to pay the mortgage, they don't have survival skills. They don't even know how to, if anything happens to the parents, they don't know what to do. Why? Because the parents don't sit down and teach them how to budget. Teach them
Mm.
mortgage. Teach them what it takes. They think you're supposed to just go swipe that card. Mommy, go swipe, use the card, swipe that card. What are we teaching our children? They don't have a clue, right? So we got to help them understand what credit card debt is. Children are leaving, our children are leaving college, not just with student loan debt, but credit card debt. They're pushing credit cards to our young people. And so we got to start teaching them how debt works.
Yeah.
How do debt work? And how to get out of debt. How to make sure you don't get sucked into the credit card. Because credit card is not supposed to be used for small purchases. It's not supposed to be used for that. And so the thing is that we put a strategy together to help our clients run the play and become debt free.
Amen. All right, we got about 15 minutes left.
Okay.
So number 6 is education and retirement.
We have to have a plan in place for education. If we're going to tell our children apply themselves and get good grades and go to college, then let's have something in place to give them. You know, one of the things I do, Kimberly, is when I get invitations to baby showers, is I'll give them a certificate that I'll put an allotment and when they start the education plan for their children. And so I want to give them something that will last versus something they're going to outgrow in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to put a plan in place. We got all the toys. Yeah, I was just saying on another Zoom I did is that we spend all this money for Christmas, getting them all these toys for Christmas, and the children rather play with the box that came in.
Yes.
Right?
We have seen it many times.
I'm telling you, man, people will contribute to their Christmas fund because they want to have 50 gifts under the tree. I just can't get into that, man. But why not have a portfolio in place for them? Why not teach them how to build wealth early? Because if you start them early, you don't have to put as much in there. Why not when someone calls to say, what do the child need? You not give them the account and say, make the contribution. Put the $20 or the $15 you're going to pay for that toy into their education fund. My grandbaby, Skylar, her grandparents started her a fund. That was her gift. When she had her dedication, they started her a plan, a fund, so she can inherit when she turned 18. And so the thing is that we have to start education plan. Retirement, we have to look at how can I have money coming from a minimum of 4 streams when I enter retirement. In the Garden of Eden, there was 4 streams, not one. We depended on one stream to get us through this thing called life. And then when they lay you off or when they terminate you, we all depressed. You was never supposed to be dependent on one stream. God didn't depend on one stream for the Garden of Eden. We should not be dependent on one stream. In fact, he talks about his word, how we should have 11 streams. So we got to make sure that we're building multiple streams of income. And then when we enter into retirement, we have multiple streams because 401ks are lasting people 3 to 5 years, and then they're forced to go back get a job. And so we have, you know, I deal with retirement planning. I roll over retirement plans all the time when people retire. They have more people retire from the government and last year than ever. And so, you know, and I did a lot of rollovers, get it out of that account with the employer, sit down and analyze that. And so did a lot of rollovers and then making sure my clients diversify their portfolios properly. But we have to make sure that we're not dependent on one stream when we enter into retirement so that we can enter in retirement and enjoy retirement.
And stay retired.
Stay retired, yeah.
Okay, and the last one is goals and dreams.
You need to dream. You need to enjoy your life. Travel the beaches of the world once all of this is over with, okay? Travel the beaches of the world. I personally don't believe because someone say that they're going to open everything back up again. I personally don't believe that that's the smart thing. But that's my personal opinion. Don't get offended. But not mine. We won't be doing that. But I believe that you should enjoy your life. I believe that you should dream. Folks aren't dreaming anymore. They're scared to dream. You know, where do you want to travel? You know, you got to get outside. I remember when I first started doing financial workshops and sitting down doing financial consultations, and you find that the east side don't go on the west side. People don't go nowhere. They never leave Maryland. Go somewhere. I believe every quarter you should do a short trip, and every year you should do 2 major trips. You understand? And so go somewhere. Go and recharge. Okay, refresh. All right. travel. So, but you should plan for it. What business
Yeah.
you want to start? Plan for it. Put something away on a daily basis. The minimum you can invest with me is $50 a month. Put something away on a daily basis. So when it's time to take the vacation, you're not using the whole paycheck and then come home, got to wait 2 weeks to get paid again. I'm telling you, ain't nobody happy when they don't have no money. I don't care how
No.
saved you are. You mean when you don't have no money. So you need to make sure that you plan. And the whole idea behind all of this, and because I just love what I do, this is not just something to do for me. This is truly my
Right.
ministry. Okay. I've been doing this 25 years now. And
Yeah.
so you have to have a plan. Write the vision. Where God talks about even an ant knows to store up. The ant stores up in the summer because they know the winter is coming. I want to let everybody know winter is coming. Times like this is coming. Something else is going to happen. And the question to you, are you bulletproof? Have you bulletproof yourself against an economy downturn? Have you bulletproof yourself against times like this? It's time out for being immature and careless. You have to prioritize, put a plan in place. And I get so much joy that I get to do that for my clients.
Amen. Well, guys, you heard it from the money coach. And if you have not yet purchased this book, True Wealth Starts in the Mind, it covers a lot of the things that she was just talking about. Lisa, tell people how they can connect with you. So if they want to reach out to you to put these things in place, and I would 100% recommend that they do, how do they do that?
Well, they can reach me on my toll free number, which is 866 624 6440. That's 866 624 6440. They can reach me on my toll free number. Give me a call. Let's have a conversation. Always say to
Yeah.
people, let's just have a conversation. You can reach me via Facebook, but the best way I think is to just give me a phone call. You understand? Email me, Lisa M. Jones at live.com. Lisa M. Jones at live.com. But let's have a conversation. Let's talk it out. You may be on track, you may be doing well, but there's nothing wrong with sitting down and evaluating and making sure. I always say to people, man lie, woman lie, but numbers don't lie. Numbers
Mhm.
are facts. It's backed up.
Yeah.
Science is backed up by numbers. And so you want to make sure that the numbers are in place. Don't wait and find out 10 years later that you made a mistake early on and it could have been corrected. Prioritize. Take the time to do it. I'm amazed at people who keep on saying, I'm going to get around to it. Procrastination is a dream killer. The pro means in front of, before, instead of, and crash means tomorrow. So everybody puts everything in front of their dreams, in front of their priorities. Not everybody, but people, they're the procrastinators, are putting things in front of priorities, in front of dreams, and everything they're gonna take care of everything tomorrow. Well, when is tomorrow? When do tomorrow ever come? You understand? So stop putting things in front of your priorities. Get it in order because tomorrow is not promised.
So true. And I just want to say, like, I remember when one of the first times that I came and sat down with you, it to me, everything that I had seemed insurmountable. But when we laid it all out on the table and you said, okay, show me what we're working with, right? And you were like, is this all? You were looking for me to show you something more. So I'm trying to say that sometimes because we don't have it all laid out, because we haven't reviewed it and looked at it and put it all on paper, we think that our problems are 10 times worse than what they really are when you sit down with a money coach such as yourself and you can show us how to properly look at it and how to manage it. And so I'm just grateful to God for you. And I can tell my community that I 100% vouch for your integrity, your character. If there's ever a person that you would want to help to look at your finances and see where you are and try to set you into a better path, Lisa M. Jones is the person to do it. It is 2:56. I know you have another appointment at 3, so we're going to get off here. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on and having this financial chat and chew. with our community.
Thank you for having me because this is something you really wanted to do. And so thank you for giving me that opportunity. And just like Kimberly endorsed me, I truly endorse her. If you're looking for a publisher with integrity, see, times like this don't build character. Times like this reveal character. And so the thing is that if you're looking for someone with integrity, looking for someone to help you write that book, I highly, strongly recommend you call LaBoo Publishing with the great Kimberly Ogletree. I truly endorse her. You got to build your front
That
line
is Kimberly LaBoo.
circle, huh? I mean,
Kimberly LaBoo.
oh my gosh! I apologize. Kimberly LaBoo. Oh, LaBoo Publishing. Yes, Kimberly LaBoo. I gotta get that out of my head.
It's okay. It's okay.
Stop changing your name. So Kimberly LaBoo, she LaBoo this week. Okay.
This
So
week.
so I am just I'm so I appreciate you. I respect our friendship,
Thank you.
and I respect you as my publisher and as a truth teller. I know if I call you, you're not going to say something just to be saying it. I know you're going to give the truth as you know it. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Amen. And lastly, people are asking how can they get the book. True Wealth Starts in the Mind is available on Amazon.com. True Wealth Starts in the Mind. All right, guys, take care. Be blessed. Thank you so much for joining us for this chat and chew. Bye-bye.
Thank you.